Hello guys, this is Vysh, the October 26th Hindu editorial. We'll discuss today in detail. There are a lot of interesting articles and I expect you to watch till the end if you're giving the exams in the upcoming 2 years, 2024 or 25, because white phosphorus bomb and this junk food and health, and also India, Bhutan, also China relationship is very, very important for your exam. Okay, so I'll show you like why we are discussing this and why we are not discussing certain articles also. First with the headlines, you can see the very first article is about India, Bhutan, China. Okay, actually there is an agreement between Bhutan and China which is happening now, which can affect India. So that we'll see the context with a lot of maps and you will understand all the prelims and mains related fact. Okay, and here unhealthy urban life. We Indian population and urban population is increasing especially. So the junk food and the poor lifestyle and all is causing a lot of diseases. So that kind of discussion we'll do here. Then the white phosphorus Israel with a lot of UN reports and international treaties, we'll see this. So these are the three articles for discussion today. And then this one, if you see, it's like the repetition, because this time a Nobel Prize for Economics was given for analyzing the woman role in jobs and economy and all. Repeatedly authors are writing the same thing again and again. So there is no new point. Okay, it's the same point I have discussed at least 3 times. So watch my previous episodes. This is of no use today. Okay, then we have this Karnataka local news and again Israel-Palestine, some charts and graph, and here it is Poland internal politics. Okay, Poland internal politics and all is never being important for UPSC. No question will come. So this is also not significant. Okay, so we'll discuss these 3 articles in detail. I hope by this time you have given a like to this video, because without your support I cannot continue this. Okay, it's a very difficult process to do this, and comment also you can do once you start feeling like giving some feedback. So 2024 and 25, 222 days timetable and 575 day timetable. This has 4-month installment and this has 9-month installment. So these are all you can come and ask in WhatsApp. It was open for Dasara, but now till Diwali we have extended, so you can avail this if you come quickly, because too many students we cannot give this. A launch video is there which explains the complete course, like what it happens and what is the timetable, what is the test count, everything in detail. For both we have separate 1 hour launch video. Please come and message me and I will give you the details and links of that. Okay, and we have a WhatsApp channel which I expect you would have joined by now, because there also we keep posting the updates, like what is the link and what is the things and all. Okay, so now current affair, again one more important thing. This also, which was just for 1 month we opened the offers, but even now we have kept it because we don't want to burden any student. So whoever comes for offers, even now we are giving it. Doesn't matter the end date has expired. So please come and ask for all these things. This is the number. Okay, always when you have to reach me, this is the number. You may get video updates and other things from many other numbers from Vysh IAS, but to contact me directly for any enrollment, this is the number. Okay, this is always the number. So come and contact, and also follow us on Instagram. We have unlimited video lectures and other important stuff for UPSC. So we'll take the editorial today, because that is what is important, and that is the agenda of this video. So white phosphorus bombs. Okay, this is something which is like the rules of the international community is not very accurate, and that loophole is what Israel uses, and often uses white phosphorus. So we'll understand that where is the loophole, what is the article and all. It will be a complete understanding. You won't need any other source after this. So what are white phosphorus bombs? Obviously it is a lethal chemical capable of burning human skin and disintegrating tissues deep inside the body. It ignites when exposed to oxygen and continues to burn until it is deprived of oxygen or exhausted. That means it is going to be a very lethal thing. It will affect your eyes because of flash burns and all. It will affect your lungs because of smoke. It will affect your skin because of obviously fire and inflammation. So like that, it is going to be very, very lethal, and that is why this is ethically wrong to use this. Okay. So it's an incendiary weapon. Incendiary means something which is like flammable, which has fire involved. That is called incendiary weapon. Okay, you can use this word in your exams and all, in GS3 and GS2 also. So wherever civilian populations are there, using this is illegal. Okay, but again, I'll show you there is a loophole because of which Israel is able to use this. Okay, so that we'll discuss today's article in detail. Human Rights Watch, which is again a civil organization, you can tell, that recently accused Israel of using white phosphorus munitions in Gaza, and said that such weapons put civilians at risk of serious and long-term injury. Okay, so it's not for the first time. In 2008-9 time also, when Israel-Gaza war was happening, allegations was there that the IDF, or Israel's defense force, they have struck the Gaza Strip with the same white phosphorus. Okay, so that time what did Israeli government do? They initially denied it, but later acknowledged it. And then they told they did use white phosphorus, but only in uninhabitable area. Okay, because the law says in civilians you should not use. but otherwise I will use it. So they are telling we have used it in places where civilians are not there. And also phosphorus, because of its smoky effect and all, it can be used for signaling, for giving some signal or some marking some area, like that you can use it. So that is not illegal, that is not told in any law. Okay, so that is why that reason is there, and that is why we have used it. Okay. So now again we'll see a lot of reports. Report of the United Nations Headquarters Board of Enquiry. Okay, meaning whenever this Gaza issue happens, United Nations will appoint some board of enquiry. So they inquired on the incidents which happened in Gaza in 2008 and 9, and then the UN Secretary General said that IDF, in Israel Defense Force, had targeted certain UN facilities and asserted that any precautions that were taken by the IDF were clearly inadequate of view of the firing of high explosive shell into the compound. Okay, you have this United Nations relief workers place and also there and all. There is inquiry board has told that Israel has done that also. Okay, again one more report you can tell, United Nations fact-finding mission on Gaza conflict, which is also called the Goldstone report. Okay, UPSC sometimes ask you such difficult questions in mains. They will tell like, what is your opinion about Goldstone report, or how is it relevant in today's context? So if you did not even hear this Goldstone report, how will you answer it? So that is why this is important. So it condemned the IDF's use of white phosphorus in civilian areas. Okay, so like that in 2013 also Israel military agreed to abandon the use of white phosphorus except in situation which they communicated to their high court. Okay, meaning if they are using it, they will inform their court like it is necessary, and then they will use. But the court already recommended that you should use some alternatives. You should not use this one because it can, as I told, cause long-term impact on humans, and also there are environmental dangers also. Okay, white phosphorus can be employed to create dense smoke screens, as I told, in the context of combat, hindering visibility and providing cover. Okay, so you put a smoke cover and then your military can easily move forward. Okay, that is why they use it. So again, incendiary, other inflammable devices such as grenades, artillery shells, all these, in wars, obviously these things are used. But again, always everybody tells, law is there or not. Ethical concerns also you should try to implement wherever you are going for war. Okay, so the convention on certain conventional weapons, okay, that is this CCW is there, CWC is there. There are many things which impose restrictions on white phosphorus wherever civilians are there. Okay, subject to the rules of international humanitarian law. So this is why, to minimize the harm on civilians and combats both. So that always we tell this, disproportionate, if you see this, disproportionate bombing should not be there. Okay, like we accept that Hamas had put that 5,000 rockets to Israel, and Israel obviously will get angry and they will attack back, but it should not be disproportionate in such a way that you simply blindly bomb everywhere, that civilians and civilian objects, their properties, everything are getting destroyed. Okay, like you are bombing on buildings and tunnels and all. What if civilians are there? You should plan properly, and like how India and all do surgical strike, you should do it that way. Okay. Then again, we'll see some more protocols where I told you the loophole. Okay, there is the CCW I told you, and CCW itself, there is this protocol 3 which specifically talks about this incendiary weapons. Okay, and in that article 1 tells that this weapon is obviously going to set fire on objects and then cause injury, then flame, heat combination, all these things. Meaning they have given the proper details of it, or the definition of the weapon. Okay, in article 1, they have told the definition of the weapon. And in that itself, the article 1B1 is there, 1BI. Okay, in that, there is an exemption given that when you are using and it's only for smoke or signaling system, then it is exempted. Meaning you can use it just for smoke or creating signal systems, or you don't have any intention to cause any things to civilians, like that you can use. So that loophole is what Israel is using. Israel is telling, okay, we already told that we can use it for a smoking thing, so we are using it. By chance it is not like intentional. Intentionally we won't attack any civilian. So that loophole, so this you can use in your exam, CCW's protocol 1 and article 1. That is where you will get extra marks because you did that extra research and studies, okay, through Vysh IAS or any other source which you did. So like that, these things obviously tell us, the exceptions is there, and that gives them the loophole. So this is a CWC treaty where they deal about all chemical agents and all. White phosphorus actually is not correctly written in that. Okay, CWC, this is CCW, this is CWC. Okay, it is not correctly written in white phosphorus. So that again Israel is using as a loophole, telling that you didn't mention anything such that. Okay, the protocol 3 of CCW also we have already countered. We are using for signal system. So you cannot simply blame us that we have broken any law. Human rights people cannot take any action on us. Okay, so what is the step now? Strengthen that protocol 3 in such a way that there is a proper legal thing that white phosphorus should not be used at any cost. Okay, now you are allowing for signaling system, that also should not be there. You should strengthen this protocol. That is the only way forward. So in this context, again, the advisory opinion on the legality of the threat of use of nuclear weapon, meaning again International Court of Justice, which we have, United Nations Court, ICJ, they also gave a report number 226, which you can use in exams. And also we have Geneva Conventions, which we have done a separate video in Vysh IAS also. In that additional protocol also, there are some list of like what are the weapons, what are the effect of it, what are the legality of that. So these things and all you should follow, take it more seriously, because breaching these legal principles can lead to global condemnation, investigation, and potential prosecution of crime war. Okay, see, in one single sentence they've given very nice detailing. Like this sentences you should use so that you can always finish in your word limit. Okay, the answers. Now, strengthening protocol 3 would create a binding agreement on states, and all the ambiguities which are there now, what are the loopholes, everything will go away. Then you can properly enforce it. Okay, so this is the overall idea of this article. Hope you understood white phosphorus and how laws are there in the country, in the world, and how Israel is finding the loopholes. Everything is very crystal clear, I hope. Okay. Second article, India, Bhutan, China. So this one with maps we'll try to understand, because India, Bhutan have a historical, like actually very good relationship. Okay, because Bhutan depends on India also, because Bhutan don't have any sea access also. So always they depend on India. But again, China is always trying to enter India through Bhutan. Okay, so this is the basic map. If you see political map, those obviously I know you will be knowing that Bhutan is here, but again little more when you zoom in, there are many problems there, because China, you know, they publish their own map. Okay, you know, this Aksai is now administered by China. Here boundary they don't define properly. Here this full Tibet is considered like China's autonomous region, and then they don't have any freedom there. Then we have here Bhutan, which is a problem. Here Arunachal Pradesh is called South Tibet in their map in China. So like this, they have a specialized map in China, and always it's disputed. The complete border here is disputed with India. Okay, and Bhutan and Nepal is there. So China always try to do agreements with them and then try attack on India. You know, Doklam Plateau and all issues happened. India and Chinese people were there and they were fighting. And here we have the Siliguri corridor. That is a small corridor through which we enter from our mainland India to the northeast. It's a very small thing, just very small, 60 kilometers something only is there, that thing. So it's very, very critical, this one. So if China get control of Doklam Plateau, then they can easily attack or easily enter India here. Okay, or it can even cause a blockade between mainland India and this thing. That is why Modi government is developing the entire roads in the border is fully being developed, so that any army from here or anywhere, Indian army can reach there very easily. Okay, we are maintaining good relation with Bangladesh and Myanmar, everything for that reason only. We don't want China to occupy India through Bhutan. Okay, so here again, map perspective, you have to know anything like Siliguri corridor, Chumbi Valley, this is all around Sikkim area. Okay, any place which you see here in map, you should see that this is in the Sikkim area or Bhutan area. Another 2-3 points you have to know is Doklam Plateau is in this side, right? This is in the, you can tell which side. This is the western side of Bhutan. But in the northern side, there is this Jakarlung and Pasamlung. Okay, in east, obviously China, Bhutan doesn't have much problems. But in the north, this is the, this is the west and this is the north. These two places, they are disputing these three valleys since long years. Okay, and even China is telling an exchange policy also. China is telling Bhutan, you people take these two areas, that is Jakarlung and Pasamlung you take, but Doklam you give it to us. Doklam you give it to us. Okay, these two, keep it with Bhutan, and this one, so we'll stop fighting here. We'll stop fighting in this area, and instead you give us Doklam, because they want to occupy this so that through this point they can enter the Siliguri corridor and attack India. Okay, so that is a very big concern for India, and always when Bhutan, China people meet or have any official anything, that time India gets worried. So now the context is again the same thing, and we'll try to understand that. Okay, so here one more point for your exam, Sangteng Wildlife Sanctuary is in the eastern side of Bhutan, which also China sometimes creates issue, even though eastern side they don't cause much problems. So if you take one more map, see here it is Sangteng Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, for your prelims they will ask you. Okay, so this point is again a point of contention, and over the history if you see, Bhutan and China don't have any diplomatic relationships, but have held 24 rounds of boundary talk between 1984 and 2016. And mostly, as I told, it will be in the northern and western regions of Bhutan. Eastern part is usually not part of the talks. But this Sangteng Wildlife Sanctuary in the east once was there because it's in the border of Arunachal Pradesh. So in June 2020, China attempted that the funding of UNDP and Global Environment Facility, when the funding was going to Sangteng, they tried to block it. Okay, they tried to dispute it, but it was overruled because there was no legality or there was no validity in what China is trying to claim. Okay, so Bhutan and India, you know, they have this border, 699-kilometer boundary. In 2006 we have demarcated and all, but China-Bhutan border is still in dispute. So now what happened is, after 7 years, After 7 years, the first ever visit by a Bhutan foreign minister to China, that is causing some concern for India. India is thinking like, what if they do something which is against India's interest? So the main purpose of this boundary talk, which I told after 7 years is happening, it is going in good progress also. It is showing a cooperation agreement, functioning of a new joint technical team also for the delimitation and demarcation of boundary, meaning they are trying to demarcate the boundary in China, Bhutan. So this thing, which will again go into more diplomatic talks and negotiations and all, India, which shares a special relationship with Bhutan, may little bit like tensed or get worried. Okay, so the possibility is like very less that they will become friends and all, Bhutan plus China becoming big friends and all, but still the boundary delineation and demarcation is little concern for India. So since you understood the map, I hope you understood the issue also. So two red lines are there, meaning two concerns of India. One is like keep China away from the Doklam so that they don't enter our Siliguri corridor, which I showed you in the map. And then second line is again they normalizing ties. As I told, they becoming friends, more and more diplomatic presence happening in both countries. So these two are the concerns which you need to write in your exam also. Like when you write a India, Bhutan, China trilateral relationship, you have to write these 2 points. Okay, so a border deal, obviously we don't hope anything wrong will happen. They will not cross India's red lines or India's concerns, and because they understand India's thing. So India also should not become very much tensed. According to author, they are telling India must approach the boundary negotiation with a greater understanding of Bhutan's reasoning and with confidence that India's long trusted neighbor, that is Bhutan, will take both India's interest and its own into consideration before coming into any final conclusion or agreement. So we should see it in a positive mind rather than being tensed. That is what the author is telling. Okay, because I showed you the maps, the article looked very, very simple, right? This is how you have to study. Okay, always look the maps and pictures. So final article, again very, very simple article. We all are part of this only. We are all mostly urban in life, and we all consume a lot of junk food. We don't do any exercise. We don't have any proper, in our city also, we don't have a street, the footpath you can call. We don't have proper footpath. Even if footpath is there, here full this small vendors and shopkeepers will be there, or full waste will be there accumulated. So there is no walking space for citizens. They are on the road, or full pollution is there. You can't walk. So there is no way that you can control your obesity or your heart diseases. You can't do anything, because our urban life is very, very unhealthy. So that is the context, and in that some numbers and figures are given. So India's urban population is estimated to be 675 million in 2035, which will become the second highest in the world. Okay, urban population alone I am telling. So this is like we are going to grow into an economic superpower, that and all is fine, but our people are not going to be improving in health or environment or equity. Nothing we are going to improve. Okay, so we have a lot of health risk because already our air pollution, our noise pollution. Now also, you know, Supreme Court yesterday gave a verdict that Diwali, no crackers. Okay, they have told one dialogue also that festival of light should not become festival of noise. Okay, but this is fine only, this is good only. Same thing I hope they will do for other religions also, where loudspeakers are used or any other things are used where noise pollution is there, and it is not written like in the books also, right? Same like they tell festival of light is not festival of noise. Festival of other things also should not be festival of noise. So it should be uniform across the country, and everybody should be treated this thing, because it's a good thing. Because if you see developed countries like Dubai or USA and all, it's more of light and sound show, which is like not the smoke and not the pollution, and not very like too much loud bombs kind of thing which you use in your firecrackers these days and all. It is not that much thing. So that is good that Supreme Court has given this decision, but it should be uniform across the country for every religion. Okay, so now as I told, pollution is there, limited greenery, lack of access to sidewalk or footpath, then limit active lifestyle, then transport also, you know, full-time traveling in this thing, no walking, then air pollution, then nutritionally dense, unhealthy food is being consumed, then exposure to toxic chemicals and heavy metals because of construction works and all. So all this magnifies what? Magnifies your heart diseases, diabetes, which we together called cardiometabolic disease. Okay, and obviously the lack of physical activity also. So not surprisingly, India's every city, whether it is Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, everywhere where IT people are there or anyone, they are going to have a very unhealthy life. Okay, so 7 key physical provisioning system they have told, which is like one is food, one is energy, one is the transportation, then one is housing, green infrastructure, water and waste management. These everything, if you don't take care, you cannot take care of the human health, well-being, equality and sustainability. So this, if you see, again a single line with lot of information, if you write like this itself, you will get more extra marks because you covered many things in one single line. Okay, so here urban provisioning, these 7 things which should be which are like, you know, many things we follow now are legacies of our British colonial past and all. We are following them. We are now trying to copy Western culture. Junk food came, everything came. So in our city, everywhere differentiation is also there by class, race, age, migrant, disability. Many things are there. So we should overcome all these things. A new narrative is needed for improving our health and improving the well-being of our cities. And this is reflecting also in many, you know, frameworks are coming. One is the SDG goals. We have 17 goals and 169 targets, which by 2030 we have to achieve. Okay, this is the SDG goal. And then we have this health in all policies. We have new urban agenda. In India, Modi government is trying to promote something called life, which also the global world is accepting. Okay, yoga and everything. So these things and all we should again improve and incorporate so that our life becomes better. Okay, so they're telling you should invest in clean energy, in green mobility, and this all is like a one-time lifetime opportunity now, because later it will become very late. So now is immediate, and you have to make a dramatic impact on all these pollution and other things. So simultaneously, like I told you, doing development, building railway, road, everything is fine, but simultaneously do all this provisioning also of food, mobility and green infrastructure. Okay, because very, very small changes can impact in a huge way. Meaning in the road, you are building road, that is fine, but in the road side also there should be a bike lane. Okay, like in New Zealand and Canada, everywhere there will be a bike lane also, there will be a safe walking lane also, there will be pavements for that, no car zones are there. Okay, if you go to countries like even in low income countries like Vietnam and other places and all, there are certain areas where cars are not allowed. There will be only like street markets are there and people walk and do shopping there. You cannot take your vehicles there. Okay, so pollution is avoided. Then the sedentary lifestyle where you don't move, that is avoided because you start walking. So regular physical exercise also you have to incorporate, so there excess calorie don't come into your body. So all these things which you know already, but I'm just putting in bullet points so that you incorporate in your answer. Okay, you should not miss any of these points. Okay, right from development to food to it's all that 7 provisioning thing which I told in the previous slide. That 7 things, if you round and round write it in very crisp format, you will get full marks. Okay, so transitioning to electrifying and transportation, that is all fine, that you are telling EV vehicles should come, petrol import, diesel import should reduce, that's all fine, but your lifestyle also should change. Okay, you should start walking also a little bit, you should do cycling also, that India has that fit India challenge, you should follow that, you should participate in marathons, anything, you should move. Okay, you should move around also and change your food and other exercise styles also. This is what they are concluding, that in our economic model we have seen that most people are only moving towards this automated life, robotic life, where you are here in house, from house take a cab and reach office, then from another cab reach back here. There is no walking, there is no other mobility, there is no physical exercise. So you should try that along with all the other things, you do active participation in this thing. And also while consuming, consume fresh fruits and vegetables, organic food, limit the sugars and salt, because these and all will help you reduce your obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases. So economic growth is fine, you are getting income, you are growing in career, that is fine, but health is wealth and you have to do that. Okay, even an essay question can come on this, like health is wealth. That is a simple thing they can ask, health is wealth. So you have to incorporate all these points. Okay, so in all our urban policies, national Indian urban policies, the health is never considered, especially in lower and middle income countries. So we should consider that unhealthy diets, reduced physical activity, air pollution, all these things will cause issues, and you should not worry only about this. Okay, because these things we have schemes, drugs, tobacco, alcohol, accidents, for this we are doing schemes, but for urban unhealthy life we are not doing anything. So we have to deal it with like a war footing progress and fight against all these diseases, else it will become a chaotic life in India. This is the overall conclusion. So enough and more points are there. Is all about how you present it, all about how you write it in the exam paper, and the limited time how you impress the examiner. So like this you can learn from our prelims test series, mains test series and all, which will give you a lot of prelims as well as mains questions with answers. So come and contact me in WhatsApp. Any more questions, any more doubts, any more clarifications or suggestions, you can tell me in comment section. I expect by this time you have given the like and one comment at least. I need your feedback to keep it live, keep it free for lifetime, the editorial. So I'll wind up this. Thank you and have a nice day.